quite yet.
Okay.
And we are live. I'm going to admit all.
Welcome, everyone. Good morning. Abby has already put in the chat. Good morning from Colorado. Yes, we'd love to hear where you're connecting from. You're here at Communicating with the Beyond with Karen Noe. Hi, Karen.
Hi there. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome, welcome. Yes, I'm connecting from Lafayette, Colorado. We've got Deborah from Arizona, Southern California, Linda, others from California. And Karen, where are you connecting from today?
I'm New Jersey.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And a beautiful background there. Is there a special meaning behind the?
I just kept trying different backgrounds and this one just worked. It's not real, as you can see.
Okay. Can't smell the roses. We've got Oregon, Stephanie from Ohio, Wisconsin, Tehran, Whitefish, Montana. Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. And feel free to continue to put messages in the chat. And this session is for all of you. So if you have any questions for Karen about communicating with the beyond, we'd love to get her wisdom, and we're going to learn a lot today, right, Karen?
Absolutely.
And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Charissa Sims. I'm a meditation teacher and healing guide, and I'm going to introduce Karen Noe now. I've had the pleasure of working with her on some other live events. And what I love about Karen is that she is so humble. She's like, it's not about me. It's about empowering others. It's about you, empowering others, that we can all do this. And that was a moment I was just like, I fell in love with Karen. I was like, oh, she is amazing. My soul sister. So Karen is a renowned psychic medium, spiritual counselor, and healer. She is the author of We Consciousness, Your Life After Their Death, Through the Eyes of Another, and the Angel Quest Oracle Deck. She is the founder of Angel Quest Center in Waldwick, New Jersey, where she teaches classes, gives readings, and practices alternative healing. Well, Karen is in high demand with a 2-year waiting list. That's amazing. She is passionate about teaching others to become mediums themselves. So maybe your wait list will be a little bit short. I don't know. Or maybe you can train others to be mediums, knowing that we all have the capacity to tap into guidance from across the veil anytime. Since best-selling author Dr. Wayne Dyer left the physical plane in 2015, Karen has been receiving profound messages from him for his family and the world. Wayne also shares messages with Karen with a group of celestial beings called the We Guides that include St. Francis of Assisi and numerous angels and ascended masters. And I think Wayne, did he talked about St. Francis of Assisi a lot too, didn't he?
Yeah, that was part of the reason, one of the reasons why he connected with me. So, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so you already had a connection with St. Francis?
Yes, yes.
That's a beautiful connection, synchronicity. So how are you? Welcome.
Very well. I just came back from Costa Rica. Very exciting. I'm doing a retreat in February. So gorgeous. It's just beautiful there.
Oh, wow. And were you setting things up there for your retreat, or were you having fun?
I was having fun, but they flew me there. They fly everybody there, whoever's doing a retreat, and they show you the premises and everything. And I just learned something. I've never done it before. Maybe you do. You're a meditation teacher. Holotropic breath work.
I haven't done it.
Oh my gosh. I've been meditating over 25 years and I've never come close to experience. I felt like I had a near-death experience with that.
Wow.
I have
So
to
that
learn
was
more about that. Yeah.
oh my gosh. So that was a teacher there?
Yeah, there was a teacher there guiding us, in the breath work and so forth. And I definitely want to have her at my retreat. So I requested her. Beautiful. It's holotropic breath work, something like that.
Mm.
Amazing, amazing.
Oh, interesting. So we'll all
Yeah.
have to look that up.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and I love Costa Rica, just like the wildness of
Yeah.
the jungle and the giant animals and the volcanic like feeling and energy. It's just like, it's like you're entering in another reality.
Yeah. You're with nature. You're living with nature. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wonderful. And did you do like a zip line or anything exciting? Like
You mean zip line? You go through it?
yeah.
We try to figure out what we're going to do and where. And now that I know the premises, I could tell people if they want to enroll, like what bungalow works, what doesn't have air conditioning, what does, and so forth. I was in a jungalow that had no air conditioning. It was pretty hot.
Oh, a jungalow. I've never heard of that.
And it was during the rain season, so it was very humid without air conditioning.
Wow. Wow. Does this mean the animals can come in like geckos?
Everything's open. There's a screen, but it's just gorgeous.
Oh, that's awesome. So anyone that's interested in Karen's retreat, go to her website, can learn more. So today we're going to be talking about communicating with the beyond, and we'd love to hear from you. Any questions you might have, go ahead and put it in the chat, whether you're listening on Facebook or here in the green room. This is an incredible opportunity to connect with Karen, and we'll take your questions. We can bring you up on stage, or you can just put your question in the chat. So I have some questions for you. So I have a lot, actually. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started. So can you explain the process of, if no one has ever done this before, just ground zero, explain how to connect with spirits?
Oh, what a good question. And as you said before, I love doing what I do. I love being a psychic medium, but my purpose is to empower people to do this, because we all have that ability. Just as everybody could play the piano if you have fingers, some people could play great masterpieces, other people could play just scales. But we all can do this. We have to realize how they're connecting with us. Most people are expecting to hear an audible voice or to see an apparition of what they look like, but in reality, they're spirit now. So chances are they're speaking to us telepathically as thoughts that pop in your head for no reason. Most people just lose that. They don't understand. They think they're thinking about their loved one and they discount it. So that's number one. How do you tell the difference between your thoughts about your loved one and a true message from your loved one? Your loved one will just pop in your head for no reason. And when you're thinking about your loved one, you'll have an originating thought that triggered a thought that triggered a thought, and so forth. So if you could find an originating thought, that's you. Let me give you an example. After my mom passed, I was driving and in my thoughts just popped, "Hi, sweetheart." In my thoughts, I didn't hear a voice. I don't call myself sweetheart. She called me that. So I knew it was my mom. And because I do what I do, I said, "Oh my gosh, Mom, I love you so much." And then thoughts just pop in that way. They speak to us telepathically. That's key. Most people don't realize that. Also, ask them to give you, I call them without a doubt signs to let you know they're with you. And these are things that normally don't happen. There's so many without a doubt signs that they give. If we ask people who are tuning in right now, I'm sure you all have had a sign from your loved one. Some of these signs they use their energy to go inside of a bird, a ladybug, a butterfly, a dragonfly, any type of animal to let us know they're with us. But the animal would do something that it normally doesn't, such as land on you or peck at your window or scream or something that gets your attention. They love to show a rainbow when you're talking about them or on a specific day. They love to leave coins or feathers in your path. And so many, this is important too, is that even people who don't believe in this, they'll say, ever since my grandma died, I just keep finding pennies. And I say, that's your grandma talking to you. Put them in a jar and you'll see how many you're receiving. Because the more you acknowledge the signs, the more they will give you. They like to play their favorite song on the radio at the perfect time with the perfect words that you need to hear. How about in the middle of nowhere, you'll be there and you'll smell their perfume or their cigar smoke. There's so many I could get into. So that's another thing. Also, ask them to come to you in a dream and to wake you up after the dream so that you remember it. Key. Because if you don't wake up after the dream, you won't remember it. You may come to you when you first fall asleep and then you sleep the whole night and you don't. So ask them to come to you in a dream, wake you up after the dream, and then be patient and wait. And the dream will come when you least expect it. That's key too. How do you tell the difference between a real dream and a dream from your subconscious about your loved one? That's important too. A real dream, you will feel like you've won the lottery. You know, it feels real. They look younger. If they were older, they look younger than what they did when they were here in the physical body. It's always positive. It's always very exciting. And you wake up and you know, without a doubt. A dream from your subconscious about your loved one may be scary, or they're mad at you, or they're in a coffin. That is not them. That's you trying to resolve issues with your loved one. I could go on, but if anybody has any questions, but that's the type of thing. And then you need to raise your vibration so it's more on par with the energy of who they are. So if you become more loving, more grateful, trying to see through the eyes of other people and so forth, you'll be more on par with their loving energy. Because right now, after they leave their physical body, they feel their connection with everyone and everything, and they're only pure love. So when you're resonating with that energy, you could tap into them easier.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I could talk for 3 hours, but yeah.
Yeah, you could do your whole retreat 5 days. No, I know. Yeah. We're only here for an hour, and I am getting some questions. But before we go into the questions, I would love to play a clip from the Humanities Team streaming service. So if anyone is not a member, it's an incredible service, and Karen Noe has an incredible masterclass on there. So Garth, would you mind playing the first video so people can get an idea of that class through Humanities stream?
Karen, so during this masterclass, you will also be providing participants with 9 modules of mediumship training so they can learn how to communicate with the afterlife for themselves and for others, including experimenting in practice sessions with their fellow participants. Can you share a little bit about this process?
Sure. So first of all, let me say it's everything that Wayne Dyer would say. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It's not the other way around. And the energy of who we are continues after the physical body dies. And that's not something I think or believe. It's something I know without a doubt. And my wish is for everyone to understand that too. And it's just as I said before, we all can do this. I've been teaching this course for decades now, and I've been traveling the country teaching this course. We're going to be talking about first what happens after the physical body dies. We're going to be talking about the signs that they give us that we were talking about before, the without a doubt signs, such as the bird, the ladybug, the dragonfly, the rainbow that appears out of nowhere when it's your loved one's birthday. I'm going to be talking about how to raise your vibration so it's more on par with the energy of your deceased loved ones, because their energy is up here and our energy is down here. And in order to hear them, we have to be on the same frequency. So I teach you how to do that, how to practice forgiveness, what the Dyers will be talking about, and become more compassionate and so forth. All of these things will help you to connect. I'll be teaching you how to release anything that's preventing you from receiving messages. And I'm going to teach you a technique called tapping, so you could tap out all those negative feelings within you so that you can then affirm that you can connect with your deceased loved ones. We're going to talk about the different clairs, how to receive messages, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, and clairaudience. Did I say clairaudience? any case, the 4 ways of receiving messages, we're going to be doing fun exercises in them as well. One of which is our deceased loved ones love to send us pictures. So they come as a picture comes in your mind. Say you're reading a book about the Red Schoolhouse and you see the Red Schoolhouse in your mind's eye. That's how they come. So I'll be sending you a picture. I'll be looking at a picture, sending it to you. You're going to close your eyes and try to receive the picture, just to show you how your deceased loved one is giving you these signs. I'm going to be taking you on guided meditations, what the chakras are, how to clear them, and how that's necessary in order to connect with your deceased loved ones. Another guided meditation, how to connect with your deceased loved one, and so forth. So I could go on and on and on. But again, this is not about Karen Noe. This is about you, and you can do it. I promise you. And that's why we're putting this whole thing together.
Amazing. I love that video. So let's go into some questions now. We have a question from Sean. What does Karen think of orbs that appear in videos and photos? Are these signs from the beyond?
Without a doubt, sign from the beyond. I just had a woman come to me with all these orbs, all different. Was it yesterday? Posted on Facebook something about orbs too. But absolutely, they come in as light or different shapes and so forth. That's their energy. So they're trying to let us know they're with us. Yep.
That's amazing. You know, I would encourage people, if they see orbs in their photos, zero in on them, because sometimes you can see like geometric shapes. I find it fascinating. What do you think about that?
It's just amazing. If you enlarge it, you see mandalas and all sorts of beautiful colors and shapes. So yeah, that's your loved ones and the angels too.
Amazing. So Kathy lost someone close and she wants to know, why did she feel such a strong connection immediately after her passing for about the first 2 months? And then it was like a switch that turned off. So she says, thank you.
That's very common. When somebody first passes, they're very anxious to let you know that they're with you. So they're trying to get your attention, giving you the signs, you feel their energy and so forth. Then after a certain amount of time, they acclimate to the other side. They can still come through, but they're not as, anxious to let you know they're with you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So from Rosa, she says, sometimes I see my father in my dreams and he treats me in a way that's annoying me. Well, he never did so when he was alive. I don't really understand the reason. You kind of went into that a little bit about dreams.
I think that's a dream from your subconscious, because a real visitation would feel wonderful. I would look into, what is he doing in your dream that's annoying you? Try to figure that out. It's your subconscious trying to resolve some issue with him or something in your life. And he's just there as a guide to tell you to do whatever it is he's trying to tell you to do. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because the real energy would be more inspiring and exciting. Wonderful. So someone says, I have a friend whose partner of 42 years transition, and she's been trying to connect with him for over a year with no success. Do you have any suggestions for her?
Yes, I would say don't try too hard, because trying, sometimes you have the belief that you can't do it, and your thoughts create your reality. So if you say, I'm trying, it's not working, it's going to make that happen. So say thank you for connecting with me, and that's it. When you say a prayer to anyone, to God, to the angels, to your loved ones, you just say thank you beforehand. So thank you for giving me without a doubt signs. Thank you so much. And feel the feeling of your wish fulfilled, as Wayne Dyer would say, right? So you feel it beforehand. Don't give up. Don't despair.
Yeah, that's great advice. Like Yoda, just try to be. And the other thing you mentioned earlier is maybe about the vibration. So maybe going on to Humanity's team, doing the cleansing of the chakras, like maybe you need to get some energy out for you to receive those messages. What do you think?
Yeah, clearing the chakras works very much so. That's your energy centers within your body. So when you clear them, you're more able to connect with energy, with deceased loved ones, with the angels and so forth. Also raising your vibration. So it's more on par with the energy of them. Oftentimes I hear that a loved one, when a loved one comes to see me, that their deceased loved one passed, and they don't feel their loved one, but a friend of a friend of a friend feels the loved one. And do you know why that is? Because the friend of a friend of a friend is not grieving to the extent that the immediate family member is grieving. So when you're grieving, your energy is very low. So you do whatever it is that helps you to make happier, meditate, go for a walk, listen to music. If you just decide to do that, do whatever it takes to raise your vibration. Walk in nature, connect with loved ones, pet your animal, whatever it is.
Yeah, wonderful. And do you think that grieving process is important, or do you encourage people to think about death differently, that it's not permanent, that they're just in another reality?
Both. I think that everyone needs to experience the grief, and everybody experiences grief in a different way. Some people grieve for a very long time, other people do not. And there's no right or wrong. So you need to experience those emotions. But yeah, that when you understand that this life is not all there is, that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and when your physical body dies, dies, because your spiritual body continues. When you realize that there's no death, it's the person who is here, the living loved one, that we feel bad about. And when people come to see me, by the way, at my center, I don't just give messages. We do healing for the living loved one. We do Reiki. I do Reiki on them. We clear the chakras. We do tapping. And all the while, as I'm doing this, their loved one is coming through. So they're healing on all different levels.
Oh, that's so amazing. I love that. So one person has another question about the orbs. It's great that we get to see orbs or some signs, but what do we do with it? Are they directing us to something? Is there a secret map to go somewhere?
It's a good question. They just want you to know they're around you, giving you signs to let you know they're there. That's it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's see. And then Sean says, I think it's up to us to decipher a bit how and why the spirit orb is present at that time. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So what are some of the benefits of communicating with those in the afterlife?
Well, to know that they're still with us. And you could continue that communication with them. I talk to my mom all the time. You could do it in your mind, or you could speak out loud. So when I'm in the car, I say, hey, Mom, how are you doing? And things like that. They're still with you. It doesn't end, for sure. And if you want to test this, you talk to them because they can hear you. And then say, give me a without a doubt sign to let me know that you're aware of what I just said to you. And then you'll see what happens.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. So here's another question. Can we make arrangements ahead of time to communicate with each other after transitioning?
Sure. You can do that, but they may have a different agenda after they transition. I'm sure, does the person mean like before they pass to say, you'll come back to me as a ladybug or something like that? I'm not sure if that's what that person means, but you can say that, but they may do something different after they pass, but sure.
Yeah, because they have the free will and choice.
Right. But you can say, definitely make, after you leave your body, please let me know that you're with me. Yeah. And give me a sign. You don't tell them what kind of sign.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So when Linda wants to know, when you're connecting with those across the veil, does it feel like you've bilocated, like you've been transported to a place of reference for the spirit?
It feels like you're still here and you're not bilocating. It just feels different. It feels like a peacefulness, similar to when you're meditating. It feels complete love, complete peace, and you just feel this presence.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So Allison says, I have been grieving the loss of my 30-year-old daughter, Jenny, for a year and a half. I know her love is forever, and yet I yearn and wonder if it's not possible. The grief is making my life more meaningful, but it is so painful at times. I miss her so much.
I'm so sorry you're going through that. What I would say to you is if you can find somebody that does a tapping, because tapping really does work. I have people coming here to my center all the time, and many of them say that they've been to, and definitely therapist work, grief therapy and all of that, but they say that, after 20 years of therapy, nothing's working. We do the tapping because tapping moves energy. So by feeling better, it's not saying you don't love your deceased loved one. By feeling better, they want you to feel better. So you tap, you move the energy of grief, you move the energy of anger or whatever it is, fear, whatever it is, and you tap on different acupuncture points that moves the energy that helps you to feel better. And when you feel better, then you'll be able to connect with your loved one better because you're more on par with their energy. I know I'm going on and on and on, but that's true. So you have to move your energy. You have to feel better in order to connect with them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Wonderful. So just another question. What is something we can do every day to strengthen our mediumship abilities? So you talked about tapping. Anything else?
Definitely meditate. I meditate every day. I get up at 4:45 every morning, and I'm not telling you to get up that early. I know it's
You
early.
set an alarm or?
No, I wake up sometimes 4:30 just by myself and every day. So I meditate every day with the intention of connecting later on in the day. It's not during meditation that I am receiving the messages. It's tapping into source energy, tapping into my higher self so that I could connect later on in the day. It's like putting gas in the car so that you could drive later on in the day. So yes, meditate every single day. And I know everybody, many people come to see me say, oh, I can't quiet my thoughts. And that's okay. Set the intention, start off maybe 10 minutes a day, focusing on your breath or focusing on the air conditioner or the heat or a noise, just focusing on that. If your mind wanders, it's okay. Just go back to focusing on the sound or your breath or a mantra. And there's many different ways to meditate, but that probably is number one for me. I meditate every single day.
Wonderful. And how long do you meditate for?
I meditate half an hour in the morning and I try to at night. I used to do it twice a day, but what I do is a half an hour in the morning and sometimes now in between appointments, I meditate a short time in between there too.
Oh, wonderful. Just an interesting side note, how I first learned to meditate was through Wayne Dyer. He has this book. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Getting in the gap. And it was like 2 minutes. And it was a wonderful way for me to get into it. And anyway, I just wanted to share that since you had that connection with Wayne Dyer. So I first got into it. So wonderful. So we have a lot of comments here. Sean is talking about a 90-minute movie, Life with Ghosts. So here's a question about plant medicine. Can plant medicine help connect us with loved ones?
Now you're talking about ayahuasca and things like that, I'm assuming.
Not like oregano or basil.
I know. I have not done that, but I have heard people who are close to me who have used that, who have had amazing experiences with that.
And then did they connect?
You could do breath work and it's just as good. When I was doing the breath work in Costa Rica, just breathing in a different way. I felt even more than I usually feel. Yeah.
It gives you a high, you feel your energy raising. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. Breath work over ayahuasca.
But some people like that. And
but some people do. Right.
Right. Since I have not experienced it, I don't know. But
that's
I can
true.
Tell you what I heard. Yeah.
And
they have good results.
And did they communicate with those on the other side?
I know a few people who go just to Costa Rica just to do that.
Oh, to do ayahuasca, and then they communicate with them. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So we have another question on alcohol.
Okay.
It says, my hubby and I gave it up 100% 2 years ago, and I feel so much more open, so much more info comes to me. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely, because it inhibits your ability to connect when you're drinking a lot of alcohol and drugs and so forth. So when you go off of it, your vibration is raised to a higher level. So sure. And that goes also for eating a healthier, more compassionate diet too.
Yeah, good point. So let's go into some other questions. What is the we consciousness that you wrote about in your book?
Well, that is a long story, but I'll try to
Okay.
do it in a short period of time. It's the interconnectivity of everyone and everything, and whatever we do to ourselves or another affects everyone. Right after Dr. Wayne Dyer passed, through synchronistic events, it started on a bus when his daughter Serena was next to me on a bus going to an event. All after that for 3 years, anyway, Wayne Dyer started to come through singularly to his family to let them know that he truly is with them, with messages that only they would know. But then he joined a group consciousness called the We Guides. And in that group consciousness, it would be hard to differentiate him from everyone and the rest of them in there, who is, St. Francis, angels, archangels, ascended masters. But they formed a group consciousness that what the book is all about, gave me 33 concepts for inner and outer peace. And what I was told, I was channeling them for about a year, that it was a very important time to do this, to understand our interconnectivity, and especially now what's going on in the world.
Wow.
I found a wonderful prayer.
Oh, yes, please share. This is a good time.
I found a wonderful prayer on Facebook written by a rabbi, and I would love to read it to you. It's about what's going on with Israel and so forth. And let me just read it. Okay, let's bring it. 2 peoples, 1 land, 3 faiths, 1 root, 1 earth, 1 mother, 1 sky, 1 beginning, 1 future, 1 destiny, 1 broken heart, 1 God. We pray to you, grant us a vision of unity. May we see the many in the one and the one in the many. May you, life of all the worlds, source of all amazing differences, help us to see clearly, guide us gently and firmly toward each other, toward peace. And this was written by Rabbi Sheila Weinberg. I thought that was beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we don't take that lightly either, peace. And I feel like this would be an appropriate time to show a video clip, Garth, if you have it, on We Consciousness, where Karen talks about this concept. Do you have that video?
Hello, and welcome back to the 33 concepts of the We Consciousness. Today, we're on concept number 19. And 19 states that you make the world a better place by choosing to be an example of inner peace. You make the world a better place by choosing to be an example of inner peace. And why is that? The reason is whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're extending that out onto the world and out onto all others, because we are all one. And whatever we do within ourselves, we are affecting everyone else. So how do we become more peaceful inside? There are many ways that we could do that. I think the most effective way to create more peace in your life, which works for me, is I meditate daily. I meditate 2 times a day. I get up a half an hour early and I meditate for a half an hour in the morning, and I meditate for 20 minutes in the afternoon as well. Now, that may be very stressful for you to do. And the whole purpose is for you to obtain inner peace. So if that seems too much for you to do, don't do it. But I know you can meditate 5 minutes a day if you can make time to do that, because it really will help. When you quiet your thoughts, you're able to tap into the source of everyone and everything. So there are many ways of meditating. You could focus on your breath, set the timer and focus just on your breath, or just the inhales or just the exhales. You could choose a mantra and repeat it over and over, or use a guided meditation tape, or stare at a candle. And then until you can't keep your eyes open anymore, you close your eyes and you'll see the candle, the lit candle in your eyelids. And you just stare at that little flame in your eyelid, and when that disappears, you stare at the candle again and repeat. There's many ways to meditate, but choose the one that feels best for you. And whatever method feels good one day may not feel good another day. So remember, the whole purpose is to feel peaceful inside. And yes, your mind is going to go a mile a minute because we're programmed to do that. And it's okay. Just allow the thoughts to come and go, and then go right back to focusing on your breath, or right back to your mantra, or so forth. Okay?
Wonderful. A little delay there. That was amazing. I love that. Just wanted to play that since you had that poem on peace. And
Yeah.
how do you define inner peace? Is it different for everyone?
It's not different for everyone. Inner peace is feeling your connection to source, to God, which is total love. And when you feel that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And when you feel that peace, you can extend that to the world, because as I said on that video, we are all one. So it begins with us. If we're not at peace with ourselves, we cannot extend peace. So it begins with us, each one of us.
Wonderful. I love that. And it's like, if we can create this field of peace, it has a ripple effect because of that connection. It's so amazing.
Yeah, because we are, like I said before, we are all one and we're part of the whole. When we raise our vibration, we feel the inner peace. We're raising the vibration of the planet. So you can absolutely make a difference in this world by working on yourself first.
Yay, I love that.
Oh, yeah.
So there's another question here from our audience. So Charissa says, can my son and others in the afterlife help me with life situations? I feel my son has recently set up some answers to health issues that she's had.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. He's probably working overtime over there trying to help you. So the key is to pay attention to the thoughts, to the gut feelings that come to you. And when you feel guided to do something, see a certain doctor, eat a certain food, do it. Because that could be him telling you what to do.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So here's another question from Kathy. What do our loved ones in spirit do to help when horrible things happen? Well, like the conflict in Israel. This is a very heavy question. Is there something that we can do?
There's always something we can do. And it begins with us, with the world situation. It begins with us, as I stated before, to create peace within ourselves and to focus on what we desire rather than what is, rather than focusing on war and violence. Focus on what we want instead, which is peace. Focus on solutions rather than the problems, because our thoughts create our reality. We're like a magnet. Whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're creating more of that in our lives and in the world. So if we tend to focus on what's wrong and the devastation, we don't want to contribute to that. And I'm not saying to bury your head in the sand, but I'm just saying by thinking about solutions and what you desire instead, it really makes a world of difference. It really does.
Yeah. And it's like co-creating your reality in the space. So, and if we have conflict within ourselves, then we might see conflict other places. So there's always more to heal.
Right. And I know a lot of people will say, but surely all that's happening, you can't say, ignore that. And I'm not saying to ignore it. I'm just saying to focus on what you desire instead. I use an analogy in my book, We Consciousness. It was, I hope I do it justice. It's T.D. Jakes. a gentleman, a preacher said this. He was saying the giraffe can only see what's high up here, and the turtle can only see what's down here. So for the giraffe to judge the turtle for what it's seeing and doing is crazy because it can't see anything else. And the same goes for the turtle with the giraffe, right? You never want to force your issues on the turtle because they don't get it yet. But what you want to do is just change yourself, and then gradually the turtle will say, what are you doing that you're so happy? And eventually, they will be able to understand each other. And he also makes the analogy, if the giraffe lowers its neck to see what's going on with the turtle, it could actually kill himself because he's going to make his blood rush to his head. So don't do that. You want to allow each person to understand life as they wish to see it, but try to bring them up by being an example of inner and outer peace. Yeah.
That's inspiring. And Jeffrey left a comment. I like to join others at the Global Peace Tribe for group focus.
I'm
Sounds
sending
wonderful.
you a hug for that. That's beautiful. That's making a difference. Yes.
Well, we'd love to hear any more questions, and I'll just keep asking and Karen questions
Okay.
until we get more in here. Oh, here we have another one. Okay, good. What does Karen think of synchronicities and coincidences?
There are no synchronicities. There are no coincidences. Everything happens in perfect divine order. So you will find as the higher you are on the, your vibration is, you'll see it happens quickly. The people you meet are there. Everything you need to do is right there. And even if you're not, your vibration isn't high, it'll still happen. So it's an amazing, acknowledge it, say, thank you. This is awesome.
Oh, so you have a different label for it. It's like destiny or something. And it's not a synchronicity or a coincidence. It was like meant to happen.
It's not meant to happen. You actually make it happen. Like when you're thinking about, okay, maybe I'd like to have a different job with the perfect salary, with the right people, peaceful atmosphere and so forth. And you're thinking about what you desire rather than what you don't want. Important. Focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. And you're thinking about it. That's in your vibration, your energy field. And all of a sudden you'll get an email. Oh, do you know of anybody that wants a job? There's a job opening here and blah, 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 blah. And that just happens. I hear it all the time. So that's important. It's about the law of attraction. That we are vibrational beings, whatever we're thinking and feeling, we're creating. So it's important to focus on very happy and loving, positive thoughts, because what happens then? You create positive people in your life rather than that negativity that you don't want. So plug into love, plug into peace.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So here's another question from Linda. Karen, how do we more clearly strengthen the many clairs? You talked about that in your course.
Yeah. Well, again, it's all the methods that I talked about: meditation, clearing your chakras, eating a more compassionate diet, healthy diet, praying is talking to God, meditating is listening, trying to see through the eyes of others. All these things increase your ability to connect, increases your intuition and your psychic abilities. So all of that. Yeah.
That's amazing. So I had a question about people's spirit. So like when people die, do they go to heaven and then do they come back in another body? Like they live multiple lives?
It's the person. That's a good question. It's the person's choice whether or not they come back. It's not that God says, okay, you're going back because you need to learn compassion. So you're going to be a really difficult life. We choose what we desire, if we want to come back. But if you ever read a book from someone who's had a near-death experience, that's somebody who has been clinically dead and comes back to talk about what they experienced, they often say, what do they say? I'm sure let's hear from you, right?
Well, I mean, they say that they saw a tunnel of light. I mean, I haven't had a near-death experience, but just from other people, they have
Right.
common experiences.
So I have not heard yet of someone who has experienced hell, because once you leave,
I haven't. Yeah,
no,
I haven't
I have
either. Yeah.
not. Every now and then you'll hear somebody, but very rare. For the most part, what they say is they leave the physical body, they feel their connection to everyone and everything, they feel their connection to God, and that's only love and peace. They are able to see how they have affected people through the living loved one's eyes, as if they are the other person. So if you weren't so nice, you go through that life review, you could see how you've affected that person through that person's eyes, as if you are that other person, because you are. If you treated somebody with respect and you showed them so much love, you'll feel that as if it's your own. So that's what you experience. It's not heaven or hell. You are able to see through the eyes of others. You go through life review.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But maybe we can do that. Can we do that now and not have an
Yeah,
ND?
we can. That's what I say all the time. I have a book. I have a book out called Through the Eyes of Another. That why do we have to wait until it's too late to go through our life review? Why can't we do it now and create peace in our lives and peace in the world around us? You know, forgive somebody who hurt you. Ask forgiveness for somebody that you hurt. Treat yourself with the respect that you deserve right now. Don't wait, because you're just as important as everybody else. Tell people how much you love them and why. Because oftentimes I hear from those who come through, I should have, could have, would have done this. I should have said, I love you more, but I didn't. And now it's too late. Don't wait. Do it now and create peace in your life and in the lives of others.
Oh, that's wonderful. We all need to get that book. Karen knows that's available on your website.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So Rosa has a question. I lost my cat about 3 months ago. I saw him 2 to 3 times in my dreams, but can't see his face. Is it a special message?
Oh, first of all, I'm sorry, because our pets are truly our family members. But that's wonderful. Your cat came to you in a dream. And I think your cat's just telling you that she or he is with you. That's it. And they don't come with the physical body. So you probably saw a light, or you just knew it was your cat. So that's beautiful. And don't forget, the more you acknowledge that you're aware that it was your cat, or you're aware your deceased loved one's giving you a sign, the more they'll come to you, because they know they're being heard. So acknowledge it, they'll give you more and more and more. If you ignore the signs, if you ignore the dreams, they'll stop.
So important. Yes. So here's another question. How do I rid myself of the thoughts that if loved ones are around me, that they are judging me, doing something weird or not normal?
First of all, they are not judging you. For sure, for sure, for sure. They see the bigger perspective. They're able to see through your eyes why you do what you do. No judgment. But how do you get rid of those thoughts? I would do tapping. Another technique I use is just embracing your emotion. Did you ever hear of that? What you do is you actually, instead of trying to push the feelings down, you close your eyes, feel the feeling fully. And as you're doing it, it actually dissipates, because you're allowing the feeling to be heard, and then it's released. But your loved ones are not judging you, I promise you, no matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter what you're doing. They're able to see through your eyes and understand your actions completely.
Yeah, because judging is a lower vibration, and they're just love, right? I mean, they're just exuding love or.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
Not like they're in the physical body, and if it was your father and they didn't want you to drink or whatever it is, it's not like that at all.
Which is so nice. You don't have to worry about that.
Right.
I mean, do any of your clients have, well, they're already coming to you, so they believe in you, but they have fear because sometimes, like the media, or there's movies about spirits, and like Halloween's coming up. Is there any like fear of these spirits?
When they come to see me, no, because it's all loving and positive messages. They never give a negative message. Never.
Yeah.
I tell them all those things on TV, on, the movies and stuff, that's not real. That's not true. It's not scary at all.
Yeah. It's just so interesting that the movies portray spirits. It's unfortunate, but I guess they feel like people want that. They want that fear or something. Okay, so we have Jeffrey in Michael Newton's book, Journey of Souls, assures there's no judgment. Okay, yes. And then Sean had an experience where he got visited after an accident, but it was not a near death. So that's interesting. Yeah.
What kind of visit?
Sean, do you want to?
When I say a visit, I mean, like I was in the car and I was trapped in the car, like my leg was broken in half and I was like, they'd do like Jaws for life and get me out and air flight me for life, and I was like sitting in there and all this craziness is going on and everything. And it was so real. And I can shut my eyes and picture it. No one I knew, tall, red hair, looked at me and said, "This is wonderful." And I'm like, what? And then all the action started of getting me out of the car and everything. And I'm like,
That's amazing.
yeah,
that is a near-death experience. There really is a near-death experience. Yeah,
I was in bad shape, but yeah, I mean, I was never pronounced,
no,
dead.
that's okay. But the trauma and all of that. And this is a question I have for you. Did you change after that? Did you become more loving and peaceful? And
my entire life changed. The date was November 3rd, 2005.
Yeah.
And when I woke up in the hospital on Friday, November 4th, I always said, I want to sell little jars of the Friday, November 4th, 2005 feeling, because that feeling, here's my little jar, take it with you everywhere, because that changed my life.
That's absolutely a near-death experience.
Wow. I just got goosebumps. Thank you.
That's
I mean, I can picture that day, and I picture it. And I was like, so it's never, every time I hear about that, it's somebody close to you is who you're, and very rarely do they come in form, but I can literally close my eyes and see that face of this person and no one I know.
No, it's probably your spirit guide or an angel.
Spirit guide, right?
Yeah.
Or angel, but I saw it in form, like human form, not orb or ghostly form. I don't mean ghostly, but like the misty stuff. It was like a person. There was no one in that car with me. I was alone.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, my life did change after that. That car accident was meant to happen in my life, but yeah.
I think that it's the best thing that happened to you, probably, right?
It changed my life completely. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Good, bad, and indifferent. It changed it completely. Yes. I guess there is no good and bad. It just changed it. Yes. Thanks.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks for bringing me up.
Oh, our pleasure. It's great having your energy, Sean. You can just feel the joy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Got one life to live, right? And when today's not even guaranteed. So be happy.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, we have another question. Can Karen offer some words of comfort for those of us whose loved ones are afraid of death, which is very common fear, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you could say, tell them about people who have had near-death experiences and what they experienced on the other side of pure love and peace, how their deceased loved ones joined them when they left their physical body, and how it's only love. And there's nothing, people who have had near-death experience, they don't want to come back often, but they do for their family or if they have children or for whatever reason.
Yeah, beautiful. I was wondering your experience or opinion if someone is dying, like if they're murdered or if they die suddenly, or does their spirit sometimes get confused? Is there any like, or they just all have the same experience no matter how they die, whether it's suicide, murder, or
From what I have experienced with the readings that I've done, the many readings over the years, that they're all at peace and it's immediate. They leave their physical body and they join with God and their loved ones. Now, this is something that even I don't understand, but when I hear these, the things with murders and suicide and so forth, they often say it was their time, and I don't understand it. I don't.
Wow.
So And still to this day, how could that be? How can that be? But I guess when you understand that there's no death, there really isn't. So if you just leave this physical plane, you go to another plane, they were ready to do that. It's the living loved ones who are suffering, not them, no matter how they died. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know, and even what about like babies, like abortions or miscarriages, accidents? Did the
And
babies like come back to the moms?
yeah, oftentimes they do. And sometimes, people come to see me, they had a stillborn or something like that, and they have another child. And I don't even know these people, and they come in and the message would be, Carla is Laura from the other life, something like that. So it's the same. They choose to come back to the same parents when the time is right. Maybe it wasn't the right time when they were first, when they were first born and so forth.
That's so comforting and healing for people. I'm so happy that you provide that service. So we have a question. Is suicide considered a bad death? Are there ramifications in the afterlife or in reincarnation?
The ramifications are that if someone commits suicide, they're able to feel how they've affected the living loved ones by their actions, as if it's their own. So if, however, their mother's going through the grief, they're experiencing that as if it's their own grief and so forth. So they'll experience all of that, not for eternity. It's not going to be anything like that. They are at peace, but they have this, they could see the bigger perspective. They could see through the eyes of others. So don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah. 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 That's so important to say. I mean, it's like what you were talking about before about inner peace, that we matter and we make a difference. Our energy, we have a purpose of being here, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So Jeffrey has a question. What can you say about folks that travel with someone across the veil with the one in transition?
Oh, do you mean a living loved one going through the dying experience? Raymond Moody has a new book out. It's called Proof of Life After Life, or it's something. Raymond Moody, I don't know if you remember him. He's an excellent author about talking about near-death experiences. He covers that completely. Yeah, some people experience, if they're sitting by the bed of somebody who's passing, they could actually feel everything that person is going through. See who is greeting the person who's dying and all of that. So it's amazing.
Wow.
The Afterlife, I think it's called. Something like, just look up under Raymond Moody on Amazon, his latest book. It's a good one. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Oh, so someone has their hand raised. Did you want to ask a question real quick? We only have a couple minutes. So, I'm not sure.
May I,
yeah, go ahead.
I may, in my book, Your Life After Their Death, I have something I wrote called Life Continues. And I think this would be a great way of ending this hour.
Wonderful.
Because it pretty much sums up everything that I've learned over the many years of doing readings, connecting with those who passed. You may not see your loved ones, but they are able to see you. You may not hear their precious voices, but they are speaking to you in your thoughts all the time. You may long to know if they're okay, but there's no need to worry because they are in a state of total bliss. You may believe you didn't have enough time to spend with them, but they can now be with you whenever they so desire. You may not realize when they're around you, but they're sending you, without a doubt, signs all the time. You may be worried that they're still in pain, but they're in a place of total peace where suffering does not exist. You may not comprehend why everything happened the way it did, but they're able to see the broader perspective and understand it all perfectly. You may think that they left this earth way too soon, but they know it was their time to make the transition. You may feel guilty about certain things you did or didn't do to them, but they're able to see through your eyes and understand your actions completely with no judgment. You may be preoccupied with how they died, but they want you to remember how they lived. You may be hesitant about moving on with your life, but they want you to step forward and be happy again. You may believe that you'll never see them again, but you will join them again many years from now when you leave your physical body. And you may feel that a part of you died after they made their transition. But in reality, life continues for the both of you. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you so much for joining me today, Karen, on communicating with the beyond. And thank you, everyone here, for joining us and asking your questions and just for your energy. And may you be in peace and love and